Mic check, mic check. All right, this is your boy VFL Reg with a special edition of PHFL Weekly. We had a lot of controversy regarding a potential trade from first round pick Sam Bryant. It's definitely been a lot of back and forth. A lot of GMs have been chiming in. So let's take an opportunity to look at this particular quarterback. Let's go through some of the attributes. Let's go through some of his game log, and let's really kind of have an intellectual conversation regarding talent. Now, as we look at Sam Bryant, we can definitely say that from an attribute perspective, he does have some attributes that will lend towards more on the excellent side versus not. But again, let's take a look at it. He has 90 speed. Again, when you're looking at speed in the quarterback position, of course that is definitely an attribute. But what type of system and scheme is he going to be in and going to thrive in that is going to allow that 90 speed to be a factor? And again, is Coach Mike S. The coach to be able to maximize on that speed? Again, we don't know. Right now, there is talks between both organizations to get a deal done. we look at the acceleration. You know, nothing to write home about. 88 acceleration with 88 agility. Awareness, he's 69%, or 69 rather, awareness. So this is a quarterback that has probably 20 games under his belt. So what type of future development is this quarterback going to have? And does that warrant having two top 45 players to be traded for a quarterback right now that we're not sure whether or not the development is going to continue to grow? Again, jumping, stamina, injury. Again, we have a quarterback that is relatively, we don't want to call him injury prone, but if you look at him, again, an 81 toughness with an 83 injury, that is definitely something, again, that you want to be, concerned about. Now, let's kind of look at really the nuts and bolts of a quarterback. Let's look at the throwing power. Let's look at the accuracy. Let's look at the mid and the deep. Again, let's say, kind of average throwing power with 92, but again, excellent short accuracy. Mid accuracy, again, nothing to write home about, but it's something that you can build on with the 81. And then also has a 80 deep accuracy with an 89 throw on a run, a 73 play action, an 83 break sack, and an 84 under pressure. So again, a lot of good tangibles that definitely can be something that you can build on. Now let's take a look at some of Sam's game log. So let's look at, again, when he's under fire, when you're talking about now, him facing real bullets. So let's look at it and see. So again, against the Giants, 6 for 12, 69 yards, 50% completion, average only 5.75 yards per pass, and had 2 interceptions. Again, is this a quarterback, regardless of what you see as far as window dressing? Is this a quarterback that warrants 2 top 45 picks? Now again, let's go back in and look at his freshman or his rookie season. Again, let's look at it. First game of the season, maybe a CPU, so we don't know whether or not that was the actual Broncos. But he started off the season, in relatively fine fashion. And again, this was a hidden Dev quarterback. So again, he looks like he started off with 7 touchdowns and 1 interception in the first 4 games of the season. Then he started to face stiffer competition. So let's look at it. Against the Cleveland Browns, 13 for 23, 109 yards. Against the Philadelphia Eagles, 13 for 25, 140 yards, 3 interceptions. Against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, 20 for 30, not too bad as far as completion percentage, 240 yards, 2 interceptions. Against the Dallas Cowboys, 11 for 20, 185 yards, 3 interceptions. Against the Los Angeles Chargers, 11 for 18, 83 yards, 3 interceptions. Against the Baltimore Ravens, I think we're starting to develop a pattern here. Against the Baltimore Ravens, again, 4 interceptions, 24 for 46, again, over 300 yards. We definitely tip our cap for being over 300 yards. But again, was that window dressing? Was that empty calories? 4 interceptions. Again, against the Cincinnati Bengals, got demolished. 16 for 27, 229 yards, 3 interceptions. So I would ask you, again, is this a quarterback that you can look at and say, absolutely, we can take this quarterback and this is someone that we can build our franchise off of, that is worth 2 top 45 picks? I'm just saying, from a fan perspective, I'm just not 100% sold that this quarterback would be the answer to the Raiders' questions. And again, when you look at what the Raiders have at quarterback, they have Will Levis. And Will Levis definitely has some foundational attributes that you can definitely build off of. So again, we're not 100% sure that this guy is the answer. I think, again, the Pittsburgh Steelers have lucked up on a franchise quarterback. But again, the question needs to be asked. Will that franchise quarterback be able to develop in this current scheme? I know one has nothing to do with the other, but I'm just not certain, and I'm certainly not sold that Sam, Green Eggs and Ham, is worth two of the top 45 players in the PHFL upcoming draft. So let's go to week 2 and look at some of the key games in week 2. I'm going to bring my co-host. I know Coach Woe is out and about, and Coach Shump is definitely right now in a dogfight against the Las Vegas Raiders. Right now, checking in on that score, the Las Vegas Raiders or the Baltimore Ravens are ahead 31-17 in that matchup. So right now, if you kind of look at the PHFL overall, I'll wait till my co-hosts come in before we do a week 2 and week 3 breakdown. This is more kind of a holistic overview. When you look at the league right now, you have the Baltimore Ravens sitting atop the AFC at 3-0. The Cleveland Browns are also 3-0. But as you see, you have a lot of competition in the AFC starting off the first 3 weeks of the season. The Colts are 2-1. They came off of a disappointing loss by the hands of the 49ers. You have the Chargers that are 2-1, the Jets that are 2-1, Kansas City 2-1, and the Patriots, Cincinnati Bengals are 2-1. One of the more surprising starts to the season is ladies and gentlemen, your Tennessee Fighting Titans behind Coach Dolph. They're 2-1. This is the first time in their young tenure in the PFL that they have been above 500. So definitely something to cheer about when it comes to the Tennessee Titans and them being above 500. So again, we definitely want to tip our hats to the Tennessee Titans and what they're doing as far as getting off to a good start. Over in the AFC, give me a second here. Over in the NFC, we have the surprising New Orleans Saints. I mean, you know what? Coach Mizzy, you really don't know what type of game you're going to get from this guy. He'll come out and one game, he'll come out and he'll be locked in and Coach Mizzy will be again just a thorn in your side. And then the next game, Coach Mizzy will just throw up all over himself. So we don't know which Coach Mizzy is going to show up, but right now, the New Orleans Saints are off to a 3-0 start. So you have to tip your cap to Coach Mizzy and the start for the Saints. The Philadelphia Eagles are at their customary 3-0 start after again a good quality win the first couple of games of the season. The Chicago Bears, I believe their coach missed a couple of games because again that's a team that again is going to be definitely a team to be reckoned with. They're 2-1. The San Francisco 49ers, Detroit Lions, Atlanta Falcons, Dallas Cowboys, and the Washington Commanders are all at 2-1. Again, there will be definitely looking at both conferences. Definitely a dogfight is going to ensue as far as who is going to get those top 7 playoff positioning. And looking at kind of the AFC and NFC standings, right now the Baltimore Ravens and the Cleveland Browns are both 3-0. Cincinnati Bengals are 2-1, and the Pittsburgh Steelers. I mean, we have a lot of commotion, regarding the Pittsburgh Steelers and their organization. And I understand they're trying to make talent, and they're trying to acquire talent and acquire future pieces. But I think the question may need to be asked: Is Coach Dees the right coach for the job, especially in the uber talented AFC North division? Right now, they're 0-3, and I don't know if we see sunny days ahead. It could definitely get extremely cloudy in Pittsburgh before it gets sunny. Looking at the AFC South division, I mean, Coach Dolph and the Fighting Tennessee Titans are 2-1. Again, this is the first time in their young PHFL career that they have a record above 500 at 2-1, tied for first place with the Indianapolis Colts. So again, the AFC South, we figure that once everything shakes out, that the Houston Texans and the Indianapolis Colts are probably going to rise to be the cream of that division. But again, you never know. As far as we're currently in season 4 or 3, and teams are building. So again, you never know who is going to make that impact. As far as making the move to the next level. As far as making an impact in the division. Bear with me one moment. We're going to take a PHFL commercial break. We want to pay some bills, and we will be right back. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we are back. Thank you so much. Again, had to pay some bills. Let's go up to the AFC East division. Looking at the standings, the New England Patriots and the New York Jets are both tied at 2-1. We probably can safely say that those two teams are going to be again fighting out for the division crown. Hopefully, again, there has been rumors that Coach True Gamer is going to be the new head coach of the Buffalo Bills. Hopefully, again, that will come to fruition. We know that there's been some contract talks and there have been some stalls in negotiation, but I believe that from all the rumors from our Sal Palantonio, that should be something that the ink will be dried on the contract within the next 2 to 3 days. So the AFC East hopefully will now become more competitive when you add in a definitely one of the stalwarts of the league and Coach True Gamer, so we can bring some balance to the AFC East division. The AFC West, the Kansas City Chiefs and the Los Angeles Chargers had a great game where the Chargers pulled out a 10-point victory, 34-24 in Week 3. So those teams are tied for first place. The Denver Broncos and Coach Deasy are 1-2. Had a tough loss to the Dallas Cowboys that went in overtime. Again, a battle that Coach Deasy definitely had the game in his hands when he stopped the Broncos in the overtime drive, but unfortunately a late turnover by the running back allowed the Cowboys to get the ball and drive downfield for the game-winning score. So the Broncos now are at 1-2, and ladies and gentlemen, your Las Vegas Raiders are sitting in the basement at 0-3 and want to trade a first-round pick and want to trade multiple picks for a player, again, that we're not 100% sure is going to make a immediate impact on this team. But again, you know what? The Raiders are the Raiders. Just a cute, cuddly organization. And, we wish Mike S. well, just a nice, cute little fella. He tries real hard, but there's really no future in winning for the Las Vegas Raiders. He has just baby. I can't think of the last time that actually came to fruition. I believe he's on a 19 or 20 game losing streak, and right now he's getting his head smacked by the Baltimore Ravens, so he will drop to 0-4 on the season. So, I mean, just another long, lackluster performance by the Raiders. The organization is literally in turmoil. They're picking quarterbacks. They spent a draft choice, and we'll get to that because I want to be able to again just kind of break down what we are talking about when it comes to development and when it comes to just evaluating talent. So as we go through and we're looking at the draft picks, okay, so these are our draft picks, 1 through 32, first round draft choice, okay, and when you go over again, it's going to show you all their attributes and hidden and normal and all of that. But then what you're going to do is you're going to look at some of these overall grades here. You're going to see again the first round there was the CPU. They were 73 overall. You look at the Denver Broncos, they were 72. The Buffalo Bills, a 73, their first round pick. The New Orleans Saints, a 76. The Indianapolis Colts, a 76. The Houston Texans, again, Coach Shifty always does a phenomenal job when it comes to picking talent, especially at wide receiver. Again, his wide receiver was an 81 overall. The Dallas Cowboys picked a quarterback. He was a 73 overall. The Los Angeles Rams picked a cornerback. He was an 81 overall. There's a pattern. If you can, kind of notice the pattern here. The Jacksonville Jaguars picked a linebacker, 71 overall. The Minnesota Vikings picked a right end, was a 76 overall. The San Francisco 49ers picked a defensive tackle. He was a 74 overall. And then, ladies and gentlemen, your Las Vegas Raiders spent a first-round pick on a wide receiver that is a 67 overall. Now, some will say, hey, well, Coach, he has a 99 speed. Yeah, we definitely understand that. But if he can't find his way to the stadium, if he can't find his way to the locker room, if he can't get off of a press when a grown man is in front of him, what good is that 99 speed going to do when you're talking about, again, looking at all the talent that was drafted above, but more importantly, look at some of the players that was drafted behind this wide receiver. You had a middle linebacker that's a hidden dev, 80 overall. You have a right end that was a 75 overall, hidden dev. You have a quarterback in Atlanta. There was a franchise quarterback, hidden dev. You have a left guard that was a hidden dev. You have a free safety that was a hidden dev. So there was a lot of talent that was drafted after this 66 overall or 67 overall player that the wide receiver that the Raiders drafted. So again, that's just kind of as a microcosm of this organization and why they're stuck in the muck, in the mire of Loserville. Looking at the NFC North, we did have a brief conversation with Coach Papa after his impressive victory over the Seattle Seahawks. And one of the things he said was he's ready to compete. There was a learning curve, understanding the talent that he has in Detroit. And right now, he said that, when he faces off against the Chicago Bears, which is going to be in 2 weeks, this is definitely going to be a measuring stick over the next 2 days or the next 2 games for the Detroit Lions because they face the Philadelphia Eagles and the Chicago Bears. So this is definitely going to be a measuring stick for them. And Coach Stank said, listen, hey, you know what? When I got the team, there were some things that the wide receivers specifically were missing. There's some things that we wanted them to do as far as route running that maybe wasn't a premium under Coach Deasy. And, we implemented some things, and right now, they are clicking on all cylinders, and he's excited about what he's seeing from his team. So, again, the Chicago Bears are 2-1, the Detroit Lions are 2-1, and the Green Bay Packers and your Minnesota Vikings are at 1-2. The NFC South standings, you have, again, a surprise at the bottom with Coach TDG at 0-3. Got your New Orleans Saints and Coach Mizzy at 3-0. You have your Atlanta Falcons and Coach Bullets at 2-1. And then your Tampa Bay Buccaneers are rounding out at 1-2 in the NFC South Division. The uber competitive NFC East Division, you have your Philadelphia Eagles at 3-0. Your Washington Commanders at 2-1, and the Dallas Cowboys are at 2-1. And the New York Football Giants are pulling up the rear at 1-2. The NFC West, again, looks like it's going to be the San Francisco 49ers and the Westettes. The 49ers are 2-1, followed by the Seattle Seahawks at 1-2. And your Los Angeles Rams are at 1-2. So again, looks like that may be a division that is going to be the San Francisco 49ers for the taking. Just going around looking at some of the PHFL statistical leaders. When you look at quarterbacks and you look at offense, you have the Cincinnati Bengals are the number one rated offense in the PHFL, averaging 520 yards per game. Again, not necessarily a shock. The Bengals are definitely a high-flying team that likes to put the ball in the air, followed by the Houston Texans and the New England Patriots, and then rounded out by the Cowboys and the Cleveland Browns. The Atlanta Falcons, surprisingly, are the league's number one rated defense. Again, they only have one game posted on here, so we have to make sure that we get these things linked up so we can be able to provide accurate stats. And then you have the Los Angeles Chargers, the Pittsburgh Steelers, New Orleans Saints, and the New York Jets. When it comes to your passing leaders, you have C.J. Stroud is your number one leader in passing with over 1,300 yards, followed by Holloman at 1,000 yards. Matt Jones, the often put on the trade block quarterback. I mean, I think every season Mac Jones is always, again, the subject of trade talk. But again, he's third in the PHFL in passing, 11 touchdowns, 5 interceptions. You got Trevor Lawrence with 6 touchdowns and 8 interceptions. He's fourth in the league, followed by Joe Burrow, who is fifth in the league. Looking at the interceptions and tackles, you have, again, Christian Benford, who's leading the league in tackles. Again, just a lot of great performances by some of our PHFL leaders. Look at Jamison Williamson leading the league in receiving yards, followed by Peter Porter, again, the stud first-round pick from the Houston Texans. Again, 419 yards in 3 games. Definitely something that you want to make sure that you keep your eye on as far as the Houston Texans are concerned. But again, one of the questions was asked, is the Houston Texans relying too much on passing and not having enough balance in their offense, and that's why they're right now at that 1-2 record. Again, they have a tough test against a speedy Seahawk team that definitely will be able to match the Houston Texans as far as their outside receivers are concerned. So that should be something of an interesting matchup between those two teams. So again, that's just kind of a look at the PHFL as far as stats and statistics are concerned. We are going to get into a more in-depth look at our Week 2 and Week 3 games with co-hosts Coach Grizz and VFL Woe. So this was kind of a quick overview from PHFL Weekly. These are going to be some of the daily content and daily discussions that we will be having over the course of the season. We're going to have special guests. GMs are going to come in and talk about their roster building strategies. We're definitely going to be talking to some of the more elite coaches in the league. We're going to bring in coaches, Coach Deasy, Coach Ballin, Coach Twitch. We're going to bring in Coach Mara, especially Coach Mara, because there's definitely a lot of slander that's been added to Coach Mara's name. And, almost, has he lost it? Has Coach Mara lost a couple of miles per hour on his fastball? That's something that the fans want to know. So we'll definitely bring Coach Mara in to get his viewpoints on whether or not another Lombardi trophy is going to enter into New England. We're also going to bring in Coach Senna. Just always the bridesmaid, but never the bride. Will he ever be able to kiss that elusive championship trophy. So, fans want to know, again, what would it take for the San Francisco 49ers, who is arguably one of the more talented rosters in the league, what would it take for them to finally, get over the hump? We might bring in a couple of special guests, some of our newer coaches. We'll bring in Coach Dolph and ask him how's it feel to get over 500. We probably need to bring him in a little bit faster because with the schedule that he has upcoming, that 500 record may be in the rearview mirror in a couple of weeks. So we want to get Coach Dolph in to be able to get his viewpoints on how does it taste as far as Victory Sunday is concerned. So again, just a quick overview of what you will see and some of the content that we will discuss. One of the things also that we want to bring up or we want to do is we're going to have some film breakdown. So let me give me 2 seconds here, and I'm going to bring up some film that I want the league to be able to kind of get a view of exactly what the PHFL weekly content will be all about. What these are some of the things that we're going to be looking at. And these are some of the things that, we're going to have an offensive coach that's going to be here to be able to look at some of these things. We're going to have a defensive coordinator that's going to come in and be able to come in and talk from a defensive perspective. What are some of the things you're looking at on this play? What type of defense should have been called? What type of coverage, if necessary, should have been. So, for example, let's give you. Let me up here. Okay, this was a critical component in the Dallas Cowboys versus Cincinnati, or Dallas Cowboys versus the Denver Broncos. In overtime, 47 seconds remaining, 2nd and 9, ball at the 46-yard line. Cowboys are in a 2 tight end set of 21 personnel, 2 tight ends and 2 wide receivers. Looks like the Broncos are in a 2-4-5 formation. So now when you look at it from, again, an offensive perspective, you see, again, the Cowboys are going to put, looks like that CeeDee Lamb, put CeeDee Lamb in motion. And you see, again, it looks like he's audibling into a run. But again, now you see kind of the play art. Now, again, from an offensive perspective, I'm going to ask the offensive coordinator, what type of combination would you be looking for in this situation? And then from a user perspective, we see DZ right now is on long. So right here, the middle linebacker. So now we see the play actions. Now we see, okay, we got 2 verts that's going out. We have an underneath route that's coming out here with X, and then we have the wide receiver that's going deep. Okay, so now as a user, again, are you focusing on A, or are you focusing on Y, or does your attention need to be focusing on X? Now, also, again, as a user, I'm going to be asking, again, it's 45 seconds left. It's 2nd and 9. The thing that I don't want to do is I don't want to have Y or A to beat me. So, again, I may have to allow X to go. But, again, I'll ask you from a defensive perspective. And then from the quarterbacks, again, we'll get some of our elite quarterback talents in here to discuss. Okay, in this route combination, who are you looking for? Are you looking to throw it immediately as far as Y or A, or do you want the play to develop? So now when you look at it, again, you see right now the pocket, again, seems like he has a pretty decent pocket. You have Y. Could he have thrown this right here to Y? Probably if he let it here. But again, you have a safety here. But is that safety here being influenced by A? So now this is the question here. Okay, you have DZ that's running. Coach Shifty and Coach Rail brought up an excellent point. Okay, why would Coach DZ not hit the R2 button to click down to make this guy here rush? Because look at DZ. So DZ right now has his eyes on X and B, but he's not, again, understanding that A and Y are working their way back to the quarterback. So again, look how far that he goes over. He almost goes into a jog. He goes over. This guy is, again, fading back. If he clicks on Y or clicks on R2, this guy is going to come up, and then maybe now he can influence that pass. And then DZ now, again, he's staying here. But again, an elite passer is not going to throw here. These two guys are standing literally next to each other. Again, was he even aware? I'm going to say no, that again, this guy here is moving back downfield. So look at the throw. Got a great throw. That's the ball game, ladies and gentlemen. So again, these are some of the plays that we are going to be bringing in as far as the PHFL to, again, bring in from an offensive perspective, from a defensive perspective. What would you do from the offense? What would you do from the defense? Is it something, again, that DZ could have done differently in that play? Again, minus the R2, which, again, was a great point that was brought up by Coach Rail and Coach Shump. Again, let me ask you this question. So this could be, again, this is another play that we're going to bring up. Again, it is 31-31. The Broncos have already stopped the Cowboys. They're at the 30-yard line. Would you have kicked a field goal at this point of the game? Would you have kicked the field goal? Okay, great pass. Okay, again, you're at the 30-yard line. Again, would you have made any adjustments as far as, okay, you know what? I need to be uber conservative because, again, the defense is definitely going to be attempting to strip the ball. And, again, it's in overtime. The Cowboys have already been stopped. It's 31-31, a minute, 34 seconds remaining. At the 30-yard line, you in shotgun. Pretty much everybody knows you're not going to throw. So everybody probably on defense will say, I'm going to funnel everything towards the middle. That, again, this has to be a run. Then, ladies and gentlemen, user strip fumble. Again, would you have done anything different in this formation? Again, would you have, why not put a fullback? Again, now you're running into a lot of congestion. He's going to get, again, held up in this muck and mire in the middle of the field. And once he does here, he gets held up. BG was already on this player here, Crosby. And once he grabbed him, BG came in with the user strip. And ladies and gentlemen, that, again, your offensive and defensive plays of the game. Again, that's what the type of content you're going to hear and you're going to experience in the PHFL Weekly. So listen, this is kind of a preview. This is your boy, the old ball coach, out.